Hi everyone, my name is Curtis Potker. I am the CTO of AbaData, and I'm here today to talk about our product, Equipment Management. Equipment Management was a product that was developed to help companies manage their pressure equipment inside of the AbaData mapping system. It's evolved. Today it covers much more than just pressure equipment. You can add custom equipment types, manage MOCs, NCRs, create tasks, all of that stuff relative to the equipment inside of your organizations. When you log in and if you have access to equipment management, you will see it at the bottom of your screen here with a tab that's called Equipment Management. You can click on it to open it up. It will open full screen. You can also readjust it to make any size you want on your screen. So if you wanted to half look at it and half look at the map, you're able to do that as well. When you first open up Equipment Management, you're taken to the search screen. You'll see there are different tabs on the left-hand side indicating the different functions that are available. And then, of course, tabs across the top to allow you to pick the type of equipment you want to perform the operation on. So we're in the search right now, and we're looking for pressure vessels. I would type some criteria in here, so I'd look for a particular field. In this case, I'm going to look for SOC Leopard. I can click on the search button, and I have a result set returned to me of all of the pressure vessels that are within that SOC Leopard field. And I can see a list of them here. You can see different data sets or different data points about those vessels. All of these tables are dynamic, so you can arrange them the way you want. Any of those arrangements will save with your account, so you don't have to worry about making them every time. If you wanted details about one of those particular vessels, you can click through into its abacus number, and you will get access to a data sheet about that particular vessel. So here we have some information about this one. You can see where it's attached to 5 of 2, 1020 west of 4. You can also see it's protected by a PSV here, 203531. All of these links will take you to those associated pieces of equipment or facilities. So I clicked on that facility. Now I'm looking at the details about that 5 of 2 facility. As you've noticed on the left-hand side here, as I've been clicking through and opening new screens, new values have been added to my windows. And so I can easily go back and forth between them. So now I'm back at that vessel. If I wanted to have a look at that PSV, I can click into it. It will now take me into the details about that particular PSV, and I can see it's sort of cyclically referenced, and I can visualize that vessel again that this particular PSV is protecting. If we just jump back to that vessel, down at the bottom of the data page, there is a inspection scheduling section of the page. And this allows you to set up all types of different inspection intervals for tracking when the inspections are going to be coming due on the particular, in this case, vessel or piece of equipment. As these come due, they will show on the dashboard, and you can start to track and analyze how you're doing in your inspection lifecycle. Tabs across the top of this vessel, you can see there's comments. This will keep a running diary of any comments relative to this particular vessel. Any attached files, I can see that there's a bit of a folder structure here in place already, but it allows me to attach any file that I might want onto this particular vessel. A record of inspections, so I can see when the inspections were done, who did them. If I wanted details about those inspections, again, I would click through. It will open up the details on that particular inspection, and I can look into it. Again, there's going to be an attached file here. In this case, it's going to be a picture of that inspection form is likely. Back to the vessel, you can see PSV information. So here we have the PSV station and all of the data associated to that. If there were any NCRs generated or MOCs generated on this vessel, they would show here. In this case, these are both empty. And the same applies for tubes, any repairs, any tasks that were associated to this. And the last tab you'll find on every piece of equipment inside of Equipment Management, and that is the change history. So any change that has occurred to anything inside Equipment Management is logged for audit purposes, and you can see who was in there making changes to what. those can all be rolled back as well if they're needed. The next tab on the left side is the dashboard. This gives you that overview as a company. How are we doing on the equipment that's being managed inside of equipment management? So I can see right now I've got 2 flare stacks, and if I wanted to know where those 2 flare stacks were, I can expand that and I can see where those are located. We have a bit of a chart on the inspections and what their statuses are. So you can see if we're looking for inspections that we're going to have to do in 2027, I've got 4. But if we were looking at overdues, I can see that there's 2 that are more than 2 years overdue at this point. So a little bit of an indication on how you're doing on the inspection side. And then those inspection types and statuses are broken down by equipment type. So you can see for tanks, we've got 1 that was due in 2025 and not completed. And so we've got a bit of a delayed or late inspection on that particular tank. There is a tab on the dashboard for management of change. This will indicate the status of all of your MOCs inside the system. These tabs circle graphs can all be clicked into if you wanted to access the particular MOC or piece of equipment that's being covered. You can just click through in that circle graph, and again, you'll be taken to the details, in this case, about the MOC that I was looking at. There's also a place here for just general file attachments. So if you have a standard operating procedure that you wanted to attach that for everyone in your organization to have access to, there's a nice place for that to live there under the general file attachments. The next tab down the list is tasks. Tasks can be set up to be singular, so just one occurrence, or reoccurring. So I could say, set up an oil change on this particular engine and have it happen every month, or have it ever happen however many operating hours happen to be on that particular engine. Tasks obviously get assigned to people by people and have due dates that you can track for completion. So if things aren't getting done on time, you can have notifications sent out around that aspect of it. There's a management of change system. So any MOC that gets created in AbaData can be tracked in here. You click on the MOC number, you have access to the information about that MOC. So I can see, in this case, the equipment that it applies to, what the reason is, what the description. You can visualize the review team by clicking on the tab. And you can see, in this case, we didn't have any reviewers added, but you can add them either by a template or one at a time, where you can have different people review the MOC before it becomes available for completion inside of the system. You can also have notifiers. So rather than people that have the ability to review, you can just have people that are notified for information only, and they would show up in there. Again, you can have attached files on an MOC. There's a closeout procedure, a risk matrix get added, and then of course, any change that gets made to that MOC is visualized on the change history. Nonconformance, very similar to the MOC process, except it's to do purely around nonconformances on the pieces of equipment that you're managing inside of equipment management. So I won't go through that one in too much depth. There's a transfers section. This will allow you to transfer equipment from one AbaData equipment management user to another, and you can initiate that and complete it all yourselves. It's all self-service, so a very nice feature that's available there. And then finally, we have the ability to create custom reports, and you can build your own reports. You can choose from the different options that are available, the different selection criteria, and they open as just regular AbaData reports. So you can visualize them in the browser, you can export them to Excel, you can subscribe to them and have them delivered to you on a regular basis as well. Really high level, that's our equipment management product as it sits inside of AbaData today. If you have any further questions, there's information on our website, or you can always feel free to reach out to our support team. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.